And Kate Dunning, my favorite storyteller. She's always got a story to tell. You going to give us one today?
You bet.
You bet. All right. She's going to be talking about their 17th annual Tellabration. Wild, weird, and wicked.
No, wonderful.
Wonderful. Not wicked?
No.
Where did I get wicked?
Wicked was in there originally, but we've removed it because
I used the old thing.
It would. We didn't want to infringe on the show Wicked's intellectual property.
Okay, all right.
So.
Well, good. I'm glad you told me because I saw that written somewhere.
Yes.
Wild, weird, and
wonderful.
Right,
yes.
Yay. Okay, when is this event?
This is Sunday, November 4th, so coming right up, 2 o'clock in the GE Theater right here at Proctor's. And Greg, could I have the slides, please?
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, there she is, right in the middle of the PowerPoint.
Yes. We have a troupe of over 30 storytellers. And this year, as we said, the next slide gives our title. And then the next one, you see pictures of our 9 storytellers and our MC. And the kinds of stories that people can hear will be personal stories, literary stories, folk tales from around the world, and one historical story about a former First Lady.
Which one? Do you want to tell?
Eleanor Roosevelt.
Oh, okay.
So it's a potpourri of stories that are wild, weird, and wonderful, and we hope that people will come. This year we've started a partnership. I'm one of the producers, and Joe Doolittle is the other producer here, has set up a partnership with Schenectady Inner City Missions Ministries, right, SICM, that $2 of every ticket sold at Proctor's will be donated to their summer lunch program.
Wonderful.
Did you know that SICM feeds 850 children every day in the summer? And while there are a lot of government grants so far, SICM still has to raise $10,000.
They do a wonderful job.
Yes, so we're hoping that to help them and that some of their congregations will come and see us.
Okay, so that is the 4th, and
right.
And
then my last slide is just to point people to our website. We also, if you're not aware that stories are not just for kids, you can go to our website, storycircle@proctors.org, and click on YouTube.
Okay.
And there you can see over 70 stories, over 7 hours of stories of our storytellers telling stories for adults. They're not X-rated, but they expect that you've lived
you have a history.
You have a history, exactly.
Right. And what is that?
That's part of my story.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just like, wow, that's cool. I'm not telling what I saw. What's your story?
What's my story? Okay. We've all heard of Marilyn Monroe, and it seems that there's been so much publicity about her that we know everything about her. But did you know that she changed Ella Fitzgerald's life? Yeah. It started in 1953, towards the beginning of Marilyn's career. She was getting ready for the musical Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, a film, and her vocal coach said, "Go get Ella Fitzgerald's record of Gershwin songs and listen to it 100 times." Marilyn hadn't been that interested in jazz up until that point, but listening to Ella that many times, she began to love it. Marilyn went on in the next 2 years to film a number of hits, including The 7-Year Itch. And in 1955, Marilyn was now 29 and a Hollywood superstar. Ella was 38, and even though she'd been performing for 20 years, she still was only playing in the second-rate small jazz clubs because she was black. It was 1955. And it was at that point that Marilyn made this world-changing phone call. She called the manager of a nightclub that specialized in jazz in Hollywood. It's the place where Frank Sinatra had made his debut in the 40s, his West Coast debut. Marilyn said, "I want you to book Ella Fitzgerald for a week." "You know I can't do that. She's black." If you do it, I will take a front row table every night. The press will go crazy. I'll do it. Marilyn was right. The press did go crazy. Here's one of the photos that was taken during that week's events. Yes.
That's a wonderful story.
Yes. Well, there's just a little bit more.
No, I mean, no,
Yeah.
but this is great.
Yeah. So when Marilyn opened that door for Ella, she opened the doors of all jazz clubs to all African American performers. They weren't limited to the second-rate small jazz clubs anymore. I wonder what else we don't know about Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah. She must have been a pretty remarkable woman
I think so.
to do that.
Yes.
It's amazing as you tell this story. I guess, I just saw Ella over at Cap Rep, which was a wonderful
yes,
show.
I saw that too.
We've lived in a very unusual times. I mean, when you mention this, it's like I'm sitting there going, really? Because it's beyond my thinking that there would have been so much discrimination, in music. I mean, why music?
Oh yes, there was quite a bit of discrimination. Sammy Davis Jr. often could play in places, but he had to go in by the kitchen entrance. He couldn't go in by the front door. And he certainly couldn't, if it was a hotel such as in Las Vegas, it wasn't guaranteed that he could stay there, even though he was performing there. That's just one of many examples.
Well, I mean, there's so many stories you could tell just on that level. It's just an amazing. I'm just so pleased we're living where we live right now, and what we're living through right now that we are able to get beyond that. This is a wonderful story, and I love the photo of Ella, and she had a tough life.
Yes, yes.
So you've got a lot of stories there to talk about with her.
Right,
So,
right.
I do want to again remind you that Tellabration. How can people get started telling stories, by the way? Do you do workshops?
We have monthly meetings for Story Circle members. We alternate between the Colony Town Library and the Pine Hills branch of the Albany Library. And you go to our website, click on Story Circle, and then click on meetings and find out about that. So people are welcome to just come and listen, or if they have a story they want to try. I'm sorry, you can't read a story. You have to tell the story. That's storytelling.
Exactly.
It's not story reading.
And that's how it was years ago. You told stories. And of course, my favorite stories, well, some of my favorite stories are the Down East stories. And I know that you really don't do any of those, but those to me are the most hysterical stories you can hear.
I enjoy them.
I do.
But I leave them to others to tell.
Others do. Well, there's a whole group of people that do these Down East stories. If for those of you who don't know what we're talking about Maine. Up there they call them Down East, and they're the stories that are told in dialect.
But those stories, there's a story called Moose Turd Pie, and I'm pretty sure there's a Maine version, there's an Adirondack version, there's a Appalachian version,
So the themes are out there.
Yes, and they just move them around and maybe fix up a few details. And
Well, Kate Dunning, she'll be able to tell you anything about storytelling. And Joe Doolittle, I think he was in the audience earlier, so I'm glad that he's here joining you today. How about
Yay,
applause?
Joe.
Right, thank you. So check out Tellabration. Check out their other stories. They do. You do meetings at Glenn Sanders, where you have.
We have a storytelling dinner series there. We just had our 100th performance there.
So we can check those out.
Yes, on our website, storycircle@proctors.org.
Do something different, right? Enjoy stories.
If you like theater, we think you'll love storytelling because
Yeah.
it was the original performing art.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Ann Perilla for Schenectady Today, in and around the Capital Region. We had Kate Dunning with us.